From Los Angeles, CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the New England Patriots and the Los Angeles Chargers. With Trent Green and Amanda Balionis, this is Kevin Harlan. The Patriots come into today 5-6, and they have won 3 of their last 4. Chargers are 3-8. They have lost 4 of their last 5. We've had the flip of the coin. The Chargers won it, and the Patriots will receive. Deep back is Dante Moncrief. He'll leave it in the end zone. It is a touchback and to the 25-yard line. With Trent Green, Kevin Harlan, well, we've got a Patriot team that is still alive on the outside looking in the final 7 slots.
Well, and this was an important game prior to the earlier games happening, but as we saw unfold just a little while ago in some of these earlier games, this is really a must-win for the New England Patriots. It
is indeed, and Cam Newton is ready to go with Bill Belichick having his team in Los Angeles. For the first time since '92, the running back is Damian Harris. It is 1st and 10. He'll go to the air. Here comes the pressure out to Harris. Blocked by Andrews. Blocked downfield by Tooney. And he is taken down by Kenneth Murray on a catch and run of 15. With a look here at Cam Newton coming off a career-low passer rating in the win over Arizona. After 4 good performances, Trent, he was limited this week in practice for the first time with an injury all season long.
Well, it's been an up-and-down year for Cam after signing late with the Patriots. They got off to a hot start. They were talking about the Cam of old, the MVP Cam, and then after coming back from COVID, losing 3 straight games, and then, as you mentioned, winning 3 of the last 4 games as he motions to the outside on this set, lining to the far right.
Wildcat Harris, right up the middle he goes like a rocket. And there's the rookie Murray with another tackle. He's out to the 47. He picks up 7 on the play. A lot of moving parts in the offensive line. 3 different starting left tackles, 4 different left guards, 3 centers, 2 right guards, 3 different right tackles. But it has stabilized a bit. The right tackle, Owenu, today against Joey Bosa. Something to watch. Running back by committee. Edelman still out, a couple weeks away. Burkhead had surgery this week. He is not here. Myers in motion, 2nd and 3. And Harris again with a Jakob Johnson block. And he plows his way down to the 44 on a gain of 8 with a hit right there by Nick Vigil. The defensive line of the Chargers. Joey Bosa, last weekend, he had 3 sacks, 9 tackles, 5 quarterback hits, a pass breakup, and a fumble. Best game of his career. Nwosu goes to the linebacking core from the defensive line. Perriman is out today, and Rayshon Jenkins in the secondary leads the defense in tackles. 1st and 10. Good-looking start. Winner the block in downfield, Cam, and right through the hands, it appeared, of Jacoby Myers, who is the leading receiver for the New England Patriots. Yep, he says he should have had that one. 2nd down and 10.
Well, and this is something that the Patriots don't do a lot of, and that's throwing the ball down the field. Most of their throws are near or behind the line of scrimmage. That time, Cam throws the ball right on target. That's a ball Myers has to have.
Patriots are trying to get back to 500. Chargers have lost 4 of 5, a home record of 2 and 3. It's 2nd down and 10. Harris in the backfield, pitch out from Cam, cuts it. Owenu with a nice block. Then he was tripped up on the play by Linval Joseph. But he works his way to a 1st down, the 34 of the Chargers.
Good drive here for the Patriots. Just a quick option to the outside. You're going off of Bosa is what Cam Newton was doing. As soon as Bosa comes to him, flips it to the outside. Great start from a running game standpoint, what the Patriots have been able to do. Really, that drop by Myers, the only negative in this series.
So Harris has been big, an 11-yard run there, a 15-yard catch and run earlier on. 1st and 10. Cam takes it himself. Chased by Jenkins. 14-yard run right there by Cam Newton. And this opening drive of the game from Los Angeles, for those of you just joining us, underway. Patriots have taken the opening drive, beginning at their 25. Harris, the running back, with runs of 11, had a catch and run on a screen of 15. Cam just ran one right there. The Patriots are on the outside of the playoff picture, looking in. They have won 3 of 4 coming in. First drive of the game, 1st and 10 from the 20.
Go 56.
It's Harris, little stutter step, and then Damian Square will douse him at about the 19-yard line. Trent Green on a gain of a yard. Good-looking first drive for New England.
Excellent first drive for New England and a good response. This is the first time we've seen the Chargers have that attack at the line of scrimmage, being able to stop it before it even gets to that second level. So the defense finally responding to that run game of the Patriots.
Look at Bill Belichick. On the other side, they have the head coach, Anthony Lynn. A lot been written about him and his future here. One of the stories going into this one, 2nd and 9, 8th play of the drive. It's Newton. Harris, nice sidestepping move, tries to cut, and brought down by Murray with his 3rd tackle defensively for the Chargers. A starter all season. It's a gain of 4 on the play, and Trent put him at the 15.
Well, excellent job by Bosa getting inside of Illuminor and getting into the backfield and just not having enough leverage to be able to wrap him up as Harris bounces it to the outside. You mentioned the numbers just a bit ago about Joey Bosa and what he did a week ago. Phenomenal game for him. Whether it be tackles for loss, QB's hits, sacks, all over the field last week.
White is in, 6 in the secondary, 3rd and 5. A winner the block. White on the wing. Jenkins is there. Brought down about the 12, and a gain of about 3. It's 4th down. And Jenkins in pain, the leading tackler, one of the top performers on this defense, and that does not look good.
Well, it doesn't look good, and there was no hesitation on the Patriots sideline to pull the kicking unit back.
We have an injury timeout. Our clock at 9:49 from Los Angeles on CBS. They're looking at Rayshon Jenkins in the tent. He did get up. He pointed to his jaws. He was walking to the sideline, appeared to be okay. 4th and 2, opening drive, New England, beginning at their 25. They have brought in Jaleel Adai to take the place of the starter, Jenkins. They're going for it on 4th and 2. The lowest scoring first quarter team in the NFL, New England. Harris in the backfield. Here comes Cam looking to squeeze by Shaq Mason, who got bent sideways. Looks like he got the first to Trent. He's inside the 10. Give it to him. 1st and goal, New England. Good run by Newton to capture the 1st down.
Well, I think this play was designed to go to the outside left, and when Cam got the ball, he noticed Bosa out there and decided to take it closer inside. Nearly didn't get it, had to get to the 10-yard line, and as you can see where the ball is going to be spotted, it's just past that 10-yard line.
1st and goal. Newton, for a 2nd time, will leave it in a wildcat. Direct snap. Damian Harris finds a crease, and he's down near the 5. With a gain of 5 on the play as they send Cam wide.
Well, it's the 2nd time they've used that play, and it's the 2nd time they've had success with the play. But I tell you right now, with the size advantage that Cam Newton has going out there at 6'5", going against Chris Harris at 5'10", don't be surprised if they feel confident with Harris throwing the football, getting an option to get him out in space and maybe taking advantage of that size difference.
5 in the secondary. White is in, 2nd and goal. Cam, he's going to run it. Illuminor with a block to the pylon, and touchdown! He got in there. Newton with a 5-yard touchdown run. And a distinct message sent by the Patriots. The Chargers allowing an opening drive touchdown for the 4th consecutive game. 5-yard touchdown run, Newton, his 10th of the year.
This entire drive has been based upon the running game, what they've been able to do with Damian Harris and with Cam Newton. And as you said, Kevin, his 10th rushing touchdown on the season, able to power his way through those final couple yards, getting to that pylon.
They review every scoring play. If it holds up, it'll be his 10th, as we said. Inbounds, has the ball, still in, and to the pylon.
Well, they're running to take a look at it.
Yep. Carl Cheffers is in charge of our crew here with a look at Belichick. And as they review with 8:01 to go, waiting to see if indeed it is 6 for the Pats.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by LLB. Be an outsider. Wendy's, always be baconating with the Breakfast Baconator. And by Allstate, you've never been in better hands.
Carl Cheffers, our referee, has conferred with New York, and Cam did not get in. His foot was dragging out of bounds. We got a definitive look. Gene Steratore had looked at it as well, and we were talking to him while we were away, and sure enough, you see he's on the half-yard line.
Just came up a little bit short. Excellent job by the officials getting it correct, and now the Patriots here at the half-foot line.
7-minute drive to open the game, 3rd and goal. Cam leaping, that's the touchdown. Book it right there. He goes in on a dive from a yard away. And now for a 3rd season, Newton has had 10 rushing touchdowns or more, extending his own NFL record.
Well, and he's now over 400 yards rushing on the season. You mentioned some of the struggles he's had from a passing standpoint, but on this drive, a couple of screen passes, a drop ball by Myers up the field. But this drive was all about running the football, the job that the offensive line did. Some misdirection by lining Cam Newton up out wide, shifting him to the outside. So good start for the Patriots.
It's up and in by Nick Folk, and a 7-0 lead for the New England Patriots over the Los Angeles Chargers as they get the opening kickoff. A drive over 7 minutes by Cam and the offensive unit. So this is the way, as we update the look at the AFC playoff picture, the Raiders pulled out a wonderful win on the road against the Jets. The Pats on the outside looking in. Baltimore plays outside the weekend against Dallas, and so this is the way things stack up right now. The Chiefs will take on Denver tonight at Arrowhead.
Well, and Kevin, this is why I said this is really a must-win for the New England Patriots. When you look at Cleveland, the big win that they had today, Miami with the win they had at Indianapolis, it's just it just continues to get harder and harder to move your way into those final 7 spots. And New England, as you said, what an incredible finish to that Vegas game that the Raiders had. I couldn't believe it as we were watching the end of it up here in the booth. But good start for Cam Newton and getting the offense going. Josh McDaniels happy with him, giving him a little elbow. This is traditionally, this season, the Patriots haven't been a fast starting team, and getting off to a good start here. And then on the other side of things, the Chargers have been a fast starting team. They just haven't finished very strong. So
Jake Bailey kicks off, and here's the pick on the first yard outside the end zone. It's taken here by Tyron Johnson, who takes it back. Joe Reed, who returned kicks last week, inactive today, a return of 26 yards. And so that sets it up for quarterback Justin Herbert. And let's go downstairs to Amanda Balionis.
Thanks, Kevin. Bill Belichick has almost seen it all, but today's a first coaching in SoFi Stadium. And in true Belichick fashion, there is no detail too small. There is a laundry list of things that he pre-scouted, including making sure he knew where the game and play clocks were, all of the different elements, including if that logo in the middle of the field might get slick or not. As you can see, listen, Bill Belichick, he wants to do a lot of things right. He doesn't want any surprises. And if he goes on to win today with the Patriots, he'll be the first NFL coach in history to win in 50 different stadiums, Kevin.
Wouldn't that be something, Amanda? Wow, what an accomplishment. Thank you. Adrian Phillips just tackled Eckler after a 9-yard run. And they're out past the 36-yard line, 2nd down and 1. This is the number 3 offense in pro football. 16th in scoring, 2nd and 1 for the rookie quarterback, Herbert.
380, run!
And Eckler again, who missed some time with an injury, a torn hamstring, and they try to shove him, and they do, and he gets the first down as they push it out to the 37-yard line. So here is the rookie quarterback everybody's talking about. He took over for Tyrod Taylor early this season. Trent ranks in the top 10 in the NFL in touchdown passes and passing yards. He has been fantastic.
He's on pace to break the rookie record for passing yards and passing touchdowns. And really, when you move on from a franchise quarterback like the Chargers did with moving on from Rivers, sometimes it takes years and years to find that guy, but they found their franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert.
With the 1st and 10, Herbert throws, and a diving catch made by the tight end Parham, and then bounces back up and takes it to midfield. Brought down by Phillips, a former Charger, with a catch and run of 11 on the play. All right, now the Chargers will move the chains again.
Excellent job of recognition by Parham, and poor job by the Patriots not reaching down and touching him. Parham, realizing he wasn't touched, got up and ends up getting the first down. That's a mental mistake by the New England Patriots defensively.
Running back is Balaj.
Half left.
Hey, 51 double.
Delta shot.
It's Kalen Balaj looking for a block, and he's got it on the side. Hunter Henry was the one to open the door, and he's down to the 43-yard line of New England with a gain of 7. A good run by Balaj. On the offensive line, there's a new left tackle today. A change there. Starter Sam Tevye is with his wife for the birth of their 3rd child, their first son. Storm Norton makes his first start in the NFL, and they use the running back Austin Eckler a lot, although Balaj carried right there. Keenan Allen leads the NFL, the receiver, with 85 receptions coming in, 2nd down and 3.
Hey, 35!
Let's go.
Toe!
Delta shot.
It's Balaj with a nice block inside by Balaga, who is starting today at that right tackle, and that is huge. They lose a yard on the play. The defense for New England is ranked number 16, 12th in points allowed, and Chase Vinovich is emerging on that line. Jawan Bentley had a career high in tackles last week in the Arizona win. And safety Adrian Phillips has been a terrific addition as a free agent from the Chargers, leads the Patriots in tackles. Gilmore, the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year, is back there to solidify 3rd and 4. Norton the block, Balaga the block, and across the middle they go for Allen, the number 1 3rd down receiver in pro football. But a Gilmore tackle stops him shy of the 1st. He's outside the 40. It'll be 4th and less than a yard after the gain of 3.
And Kevin, this is the marquee matchup that I want to watch today. It's Keenan Allen, who you mentioned leads the NFL in receptions, coming into today with 85, and Stephon Gilmore, 2 years in a row, first team All-Pro, last year Defensive Player of the Year as well, and this time able to drag him down and keep it at just 4th and inches from getting that first down.
Balaj in, 4th and less than a yard, 7th play of the drive. Eckler on the move, Balaj the carry, and Submarines, and it looks like he's got it. As he goes through, bottom of that line, they had a couple. It's a gain of 2 on the play. Jennings was in there, among others, for the Pats. First down, opening drive, Eckler for 9. Parham, the tight end, with a 12-yard catch and run with a look at Anthony Lynn. And over the last couple years since he has been here, this team has struggled a bit, 8 and 19. Eckler is in, 1st and 10. Guyton in motion. Off the edge, Eckler the block. Herbert will throw outside to Guyton, who's got the first down and dives his way inside the 25. It's a 14-yard pickup, hit on the play by J.C. Jackson to the 25 of the Patriots and a first down.
The Patriots decide to blitz, bringing pressure off the side, and Herbert steps up in the pocket. He keeps his eyes up the field and then recognizes Guyton out to the flat. He sees him late, but he hadn't crossed the line of scrimmage yet. Excellent recognition and vision by the rookie.
1st and 10, and here he goes. The pass across the middle, and he leads his receiver a little bit too much. That was Eckler. 2nd down and 10. Trent, what are your thoughts on the quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert, a rookie?
I've been very impressed with him, Kevin. I tell you what, he's got great poise, great composure in the pocket. We've already seen that. When teams decide to bring pressure, it doesn't overwhelm him. He stays calm in there, and then just the big arm jumps out to me. His ability to get vertical in the passing game with that arm strength has been outstanding.
He is the October and November NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month. 2nd down 10, drive is 5.5 minutes. Good blocking up front by Feeney, buying time for the quarterback. Whacked as he throws, and it's incomplete. And he was looking down about the 10, going for his tight end, Hunter Henry, with the coverage down there, and Duggar among a couple for the Pats on the back end of the defense.
Well, in the last couple throws, he's been a little off. Eckler diving on one that actually would have been intercepted if Eckler didn't leave his feet and knock it down. And then that time, as he was scrambling around trying to find Hunter Henry, but coming into this game, completing 67% of his passes, and incredibly for a rookie, protecting the football, more than 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, which is outstanding for anybody, let alone a rookie.
7 in the secondary. Here goes a 3rd and 10 for Herbert, and grabbed by Weiss and brought down. Dietrich Weiss puts the hammer on him, his 2nd sack of the season. They lose 2, first sack of the game. He'll be back at the 28-yard line of New England.
New England hasn't had much success pressuring the quarterback this year, or getting sacks for that matter. This time able to bring down Herbert. He does an excellent job of protecting the football, as you can see, trying to swipe it out of his arms, and held onto it for a field goal attempt.
28th in sacks, the Pats defense in sacks. Here's a 46-yard field goal try by Michael Bangley, who has missed 8 kicks this year. He's missed 9. And the drive by the Chargers doesn't hold. New England on top. Cam from a yard away, late in the 1st. Welcome back to SoFi Stadium. Over $5 billion worth of stadium built here on a 70-degree day in Los Angeles. Not too far from LAX. Flight path goes overhead, so they had to build deep into the ground. It's 1st and 10. They enter the block. They dump it off to the running back, and that is White, and read well by Nick Vigil, a former Bengal. Loss of 4, back to the 31. Here's your game plan for today, Trent.
Well, I think for the Patriots, don't allow any big plays. Justin Herbert leads the NFL with 7 completions of 50 or more yards, and then contain Bosa, but just because he's a game wrecker like we've talked about. The Chargers don't lose the game with special teams. There have been all kinds of problems on the special teams. We just saw the missed field goal, and then Allen must win the matchup that he's going to have one-on-one with Stephon Gilmore.
Fake to White, 2nd and 15 for Cam. Has the time. You can see as he tries to feed off the room and dives ahead. Chris Harris was playing him well, the 4-time Pro Bowler, the former Denver Bronco. It is a gain of 4, so they're back to 10 to go here. 3rd and 10. Newton's 1-yard touchdown leap has put the Patriots on top here in the 1st, something they have not been able to say many times this year.
Yeah, they haven't, just because of the slow start they've had. And this isn't really an area that they like to be in, 3rd and long. No team likes to be in 3rd and long, but with the Patriots passing game, most of what they do is behind the line of scrimmage or near the line of scrimmage with running backs and tight ends. They haven't had much success throwing the ball up the field to wide receivers.
3rd and 11 into the nickel, right through the hands of White. And it's incomplete, and it's 4th down, and here comes the punting unit for New England.
Well, they've had success today with the screens, this time just trying to throw to the outside, kind of that slip screen to James White. You can see the Chargers were in great position to make the tackle, even if it had been caught.
K.J. Hill is a rookie out of Ohio State, and he is deep back for the Chargers. With the punt here by one of the best in the business, Jake Bailey. That's his hit at the 3, and they can't save it. It was close. He just about had enough English on that thing to keep it in. 65-yard punt. First quarter has come to a close with New England on top on CBS.
And by KFC. Get contactless delivery at KFC.com.
Pretty shot of Los Angeles. That's where we are today. Patriots on a 1-yard touchdown leap by Newton. Just had a Patriot punt. 1st and 10. Touchback to the 20. And the run right here by Eckler and brought down by Lawrence Guy, who's on to the 22 and a gain of 2.
Well, for Patriot fans, you may be wondering why that ball wasn't tapped when it was down by the goal line. Matthew Slater is at the top, the all-everything special teams player, not only for this team, but in the NFL. Multiple Pro Bowls for him. He has to run out of bounds. So because of that, he can't be the first one to touch it. So as that ball's bouncing by the goal line, many of you may have been asking, why doesn't he reach down and tap it and keep it in play? Because he can't be the first one to touch it after going out of bounds.
2nd down, 8. Good explanation. And across the middle. Nice knock away there by Gilmore. They were looking for the wide receiver. Mike Williams across the middle with an incompletion. Gilmore is a tough character. Last year's Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL. And they've gone at him a couple times with 2 passes defended coming into today. He's already defended 2 passes in the first quarter plus of this one.
And Kevin, we had a chance to talk with him yesterday, and the fact that he only has 1 interception this year, and you even brought up to him, how frustrating does it get when they don't throw in your direction? And he said, you know what, I just have to be ready on every play. If they choose to throw my way, I got to be ready. That time he was knocking it away.
7 defensive backs. Eckler is in. Belaga the block at the right tackle, and it's out of bounds and incomplete. And the coverage there by Jonathan Jones. So it's incomplete on the play. Guyton was in the sights. It's 4th down and 8. Here comes the punting unit.
Watch Gilmore, how he attacks Keenan Allen at the line of scrimmage, and different techniques. If you go back to how he played DeAndre Hopkins a week ago, sometimes you have to come up and be physical. Sometimes you have to backpedal, changing up what you're doing so the receiver doesn't get dialed in. That time being very aggressive on 3rd and long, trying to knock Keenan Allen off his route early.
Belichick said that Gilmore may be the hardest worker he has on the team. Gilmore said, I've never had a guy with the attention to detail of Bill Belichick. Here's the punt by Ty Long. Deep back is Gunnar Olszewski. From the 31-yard line. Blocked by Slater, and that opens up the door. There was also a block in there from the defensive back. That was Rashad Berry, and he's in for the touchdown. Olszewski takes it. 70 yards for the TD on the special teams play. He had one called back because of a penalty, but he got a block by Slater, a block by Rashad Berry, and that opened the door.
Incredible job of blocking. First off, getting a body on a body and getting through. Nobody's touched him yet. He's already all the way down the field. It wasn't until the punter gets an arm on him right at the end. Whether or not he steps out of bounds, they called him inbounds. It looks like it's already been reviewed, and they're maybe going to take a second look at it. But the woes continue for the Chargers. We just talked about the keys to this game is don't lose the game with special teams. They've had issues all year long. They've already changed their special team coordinator a couple weeks back, but the problems continue with that punt return by the Patriots.
He was a defensive back at Bemidji State, a converted receiver. The extra point is away and good here by Folk. And a 14-0 New England with a Moncrief block. And down the stretch he went. 70 yards for 6. Punt return by the Patriots, 14-0. Early on, they lead. Aerial coverage of today's game provided by Goodyear. The first Patriot punt return touchdown since 2014, and it comes on the heels of last week when they thought they had a return touchdown, but there was a penalty on Hall that allowed it only 58 yards. Here's the ensuing kickoff, and left in the end zone here by Tyron Johnson. Touchback to the 25. Special teams issues for the Chargers this year.
Well, you can see here 9 missed kicks, 3 punts blocked, the average of punt, and then 15 special teams penalties. You can see they've already replaced special teams coordinator George Stewart, who is now reassigned to a senior analyst. This doesn't even come into account the punt return for touchdown that we just saw. So the woes have continued for the Chargers all season long with special teams.
Terrific blocking on that return. We saw one by Moncrief, one by Slater, one by a guy they called off the practice squad yesterday, Rashad Berry, a rookie out of Ohio State. 1st and 10 for Herbert. Here comes the pressure. Screen pass incomplete. And looked like John Simon kind of got in the way of Eckler. Herbert has now missed his last 5 passes. 2nd down and 10 for L.A.
Well, that was a screen that was called, but the movement of Keenan Allen from left to right gives you an indicator that they were going to zone. Stephon Gilmore was lined up with him on the left-hand side. When Allen went over to the right, Gilmore stayed at home on that left side. So that should give an indicator to the guys blocking into Herbert that it was going to be zone. And as you said, Eckler got caught in the wash, wasn't able to release on the throw.
And that is a jet sweep as it goes off to Johnson, who tries to chop his way into the 26. He goes. Brought down by Hall, along with J.C. Jackson on a gain of a yard.
Well, in the marquee matchup that we talked about, Stephon Gilmore and Keenan Allen, it's already had an impact in this game. Gilmore coming up with a couple of, number one was a nice tackle on 3rd and short that kept him at 4th and inches. And as you can see, Keenan Allen been putting up big numbers all season long.
7 in the secondary, 3rd and 9. Log of the block at the right tackle. Got it off to Balaj, an open field. Digs his way and grabbed there by Devin McCourty. Driven back, picks up 5 on 3rd and 9. Short again. It's a 4th down, and the punting unit will once again take the field for the Chargers.
And Kevin, I know this is kind of a nondescript play because he doesn't pick up the 1st down, but watch the composure that Herbert has in the pocket. He knows he's going to get hit. He bounces to the side. Vinovich is going to knock him down, but he keeps his eyes up the field, and he gets the ball dumped off to Balaj. And yeah, they don't get the 1st down, but just his presence in the pocket and understanding what's going on the field, it speaks volumes for a young guy to be that composed.
Ty Long to punt once again. He is 28th in average, 32nd in net. And fair caught at the 24-yard line by Olszewski, who just had a 70-yard punt return for a TD. 44-yard punt and a timeout. We're back in Los Angeles. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher. The scores, news, headlines, and highlights. It's all coming up from New York on the Verizon Halftime Report. Just had a punt by the Chargers. On the 24, 1st and 10. Damian Harris tries to dig his way. Not a whole lot there. Hit by Bosa. Got about a yard. Downstairs we go to Amanda Balionis.
Yeah, we saw that Chargers injury about Rayshon Jenkins earlier in the game. He's back in, but before that, he did pass his concussion protocol. Then they also put extra padding into his shoulder pads. He did a couple neck rolls, went back in, is continuing to play. For the Patriots, Jonathan Jones is also having his neck worked on and looked at. We'll keep you updated on both of those.
Good updates, Amanda. Thank you. 2nd down, 9.
Well, that's important to get Rayshon Jenkins back in there. He leads this team in tackles.
White is in. Fake to him. There's a block by Haran, and here goes the quarterback, who weaves his way. Cam Newton to the 39, picks up 14, a Patriot 1st down. It's a trip to New York, and here's James.
14 plays, 88 yards, boom. And
check out this catch by Devontae Adams over Darius Slay. Comes down with a touchdown pass. 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. Packers take a 7-3 lead over the Eagles.
Kevin, Trent, and Amanda.
And Slay was the big money they spent to shore up their secondary, and he's had a couple rough ones.
What an incredible season so far for Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. That combination has been ruthless.
Guys, thank you. It's 1st and 10. It's a Sony Michel handoff for the first time today, and Davis will meet him in the secondary, and there's Vigil jumping on him. A burst of 10. He's out to the 49. First carry today, first appearance for Sony Michel.
Excellent job by the Patriots up front, especially Joe Thuney, the way he pulls and kicks out. Just a counter play and great lane for Michel to run in.
Luminor did start at that left tackle, but they do bring in Haran, as we have seen. Returned to action last week off the practice squad. 1st and 10.
Hey, 23! What did he?
Newton will take it himself with a dive. Been a meager gain and looking for something. Square was there. Gain of 2 on the play, and they're keeping it on the ground. Cam so far 3 of 5. Square, they hit in the tackle.
Good read by Cam. Bosa chases the handoff, and so you have to keep it. And just very, very good job by Gus Bradley's defensive unit being prepared for that.
Patriots in 3rd place in the AFC East. Buffalo and Miami above them. 2nd down 8. Harris is in.
Hey, 56!
Down it goes, and down he goes. With the loss back to the 42-yard line. Snap came from David Andrews, who is the top vote getter at that position in the AFC for the Pro Bowl. They lose 9 right there, Trent.
Well, and that's just a matter of Cam taking his eyes off the ball, realizing it's coming right to the spot that he wants it. So he takes his eyes. You can see at the last second, he takes his eyes to look up at the defense to see what adjustments or movements the coverage is making. And it doesn't matter what type of player you are, how long you've been in the league. If you don't keep your eyes on the ball, it's hard to bring it in. And
Hey, 56!
setting up a 3rd and long for the Patriots.
You just saw Gus Bradley, who's dialed up something here. White is in, 3rd and 17. They need the 41, and here's the pass. Short of that, caught and then grabbed by Adai and others. The catch right there made by Harry. A gain of 10 on 3rd and 17. Here comes the New England punting unit.
Well, Michael Davis was in off coverage. His job is just to make sure he doesn't get behind him so that he can't pick up the 1st down. N'Keal Harry with the catch, and good reaction by the defense. They knew it was 3rd and long, keeping him in front.
Gets down to the 48-yard line. Jake Bailey is back there. Mentioned before, one of the top punters in the NFL. 6th in gross, 2nd in net. And sends this deep under it, KJ Hill, and fair caught at the 8 with Slater right there. Hang a 4-3, punt of 40 yards. Here comes Herbert, down 14-zip. Back in Los Angeles, time for the home team advantage presented by Lowe's. The Chargers have averaged 33 points per game over the last 3 home games, and in their first 2 home games of the season, the Chargers were only averaging 18 points a game. LA has won 2 of their last 3 here in this beautiful brand new stadium. Right now, they got their hands full. A lot on their plate. Down 14-0. Newton on a dive from 1. 70-yard punt return. Oshesky making up for last week when a penalty knocked away a return TD. 1st and 10. Out to Eckler looking for a Hunter Henry block, and he gets that. Guyton with the block, and out of bounds he runs. Flag thrown. Got to the 19. It was a catch and run of 11.
Well, they may end up getting Guyton with a holding call up the field, but Patriots that time decide to bring pressure, blitz. Herbert dumps it off to Eckler out in space. Picks up the 1st down for now, but I think it may get called back with a hold.
First penalty of the game. Patriots the
There's
least
no foul for
penalized.
holding on the play. The results of the play is 1st down.
1st down, 11-yard catch and run. Eckler.
Well, this is why the penalty is thrown. You can see Guyton with that left arm hooked around Jackson. Why they ultimately decided to overturn it and wave off the holding call, they did, and Chargers now have the 1st down.
Patriots 5 in their secondary, which is normal. That's what they usually do for their base. 1st and 10. Balaj, the running back atop your screen for Herbert. 6 of 11 so far. And he has a quick slant, looking for Allen. It's incomplete. The coverage on the play was by Jason McCourty, twin brother of Devin. Patriots since 18. Nice play there.
It's actually in the hands of Keenan Allen. That ball is knocked out by McCourty. You know, the first 9 games of the season, Keenan Allen didn't have a drop.
Right.
And then the last 2 weeks, he's had 3 drops. I wouldn't consider that one a drop. That ball was knocked out by McCourty. That was an excellent defensive job on McCourty's part. But Keenan Allen has some of the best hands in the NFL.
2nd and 10. Here they dump it out. It's Balaj. He was met by Bentley and brought down to the 19. Also getting stopped there from Jason McCourty, and no gain on the play.
Kevin, coming into this game, we thought this was going to be an up the field vertical kind of passing game. So far, the Patriots, who don't pressure the quarterback very well. If you look at what's happened this season, they haven't been able to get after the quarterback, but today they've been able to apply pressure to Justin Herbert, and this time bringing another blitz. They've blitzed more than what they traditionally have done all season. They're not allowing Herbert to get comfortable in the pocket, which in turn gives you time to throw it down the field. We haven't seen much of that today.
Simon and Guy on that last one. 3rd and 10. Eckler is in. 7 defensive backs. Here they come around the edge, and he's grabbed from behind by Uche. The rookie out of Michigan coming through, and Herbert a bit shaken, up on his feet, off the field, and the rookie, a 2nd-round pick out of the University of Michigan, Josh Uche, with a terrific play in his 2nd sack.
Well, Storm Norton getting his first start of his NFL career. Uche just throws him away with that hand, swims around, and is able to get to Herbert in a hurry.
And they're going to call it an incompletion. His knee was not down. I thought maybe it was. It was not. So it's an incompletion, but nonetheless, the pressure there by the rookie. Good sign. Another punt coming up here for Ty Long. By the way, comes in. He was on the injury report this week with the right hip issue.
False start. Number 28. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Well, there's another special teams issue right there. By the way, the Chargers 16th in special teams penalties, which is an NFL high. That's a 16th penalty on teams.
And Kevin, I know we've made a lot of it here in the first quarter and a half, but the special teams problems just continue. The last punt return, they only had 10 guys on the field. This time they get another penalty, as you mentioned. It's been a problem all season long.
Looking into the translucent roof, not transparent, but translucent. Here comes Oshesky. Tries to dance his way free and hit on the play by Cole Christensen, just activated off the practice squad. 53-yard punt, 6.5 in the first half. A terrific opening game script, as you can see, with the 13 plays and the 1-yard touchdown lunge by Newton. Staggering a bit since. Harris in the backfield. Chargers just punted. 1st and 10, New England.
Here we go, 56.
Newton, Harris, and devoured inside as he tried to make a move. Murray got him, gain of 3. This week, NFL players are wearing customized, cause-inspired cleats. For My Cause, My Cleats, visit NFL.com/My Cause, My Cleats to hear the players' stories, bid on their custom cleats for charity, and learn more about the causes they're supporting. It takes all of us to be a part of a movement for the greater good. 2nd and 7 across the middle, an easy pass with a good catch, and down to the 42-yard line. Nwosu makes the grab on Demir Bird. It's a gain of 9 and a 1st down.
Well, the Patriots are trying to go to a little up-tempo. We just showed that graphic of the last 3 series. In the last 2 series, they haven't gotten into much rhythm. So now going more of a hurry-up tempo at the line of scrimmage.
Here we go. Hey, Mortar! Hey, Mortar! 56! Mortar! Mortar! Here we go. 56. Out! Here we go.
1st and 10, Newton, it's off to Damian Harris. Bursting down the middle, and he goes to the 31. Steamroll on the defense. Hit by Nasir Adderley. Gains 11. Another 1st down.
What they're doing is they're going through their tempo and their cadence, trying to get the defense to commit, and then by going to the line of scrimmage, acting like you're going to snap in a hurry, but then getting the defense to commit and making those adjustments.
118!
Cam Newton with the right check on that last play.
Here we go, Greta! Greta! 56!
First and 10. Damian Harris again. Drilled in the play by Tillery and brought down. Damian Harris followed Derrick Henry at Alabama. Had a couple 1,000-yard rushing seasons in Tuscaloosa. He was the Kentucky High School Football Player of the Year. Not much time last year. Certainly a big factor this year. Gain of 3 right there. 2nd down and 7. Illuminor back into the left tackle. This is Bird on a shallow cross and hit and brought down by the before injured Rayshon Jenkins. Another 1st down. Put him at the 20. Gain of 7.
Well, they've had some effectiveness running it to the right side of the line behind Mason and Owenu. That time with the crossing route, catching the Chargers in a pressure package.
Hey, Khalid! Yeah, he moved!
Somebody moved. With a look at Cam, who says, I have yet to play my best football here with the Patriots. I'm
False
still...
start. Number 47. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Fullback Jakob Johnson, but he said, Trent, he's still on a learning curve for this offense led by Josh McDaniels, the OC.
He is. He mentioned that. He talked about the fast start that he got off to, and then got COVID, missed the game, then the bye week, then came back and struggled a little bit. And he said, you know, with Josh McDaniels' offense, it's not like they're slowing down for anybody. I had to come in. He came in late, signed late, trying to make the adjustments at the line of scrimmage. And he was very open about struggling with some of those things. And that's why it hasn't gone as smoothly as he wanted. And fortunately for him, he's got the legs to make up for the part that he hasn't been able to transition so far.
Sonny Michel was in. I'm not sure that was grabbed. It looks like it was by Jacoby Myers. Now incomplete. Too low, basically uncatchable. Low throw by Cam.
It looks like he gets his hands underneath it, but then watch as then it bounces here. There's the second time it hits the turf. Good call by the officials.
So Bird has caught 2 on this drive. Demir for 9 and Demir for 7. Harris had a run of 11. A look at Cam Newton, 6 of 9 for 39 through the air, 2nd and 15.
56!
Michel in, Illuminora block, Michel a block. Oh, they come on him and down he goes. Hit on the play by Murray. Kenneth Murray, his first sack in his NFL career. They traded up in the draft to get him out of Oklahoma. Loss of 4 right there, push him back to the 29.
We mentioned how the Patriots have decided to bring pressure and bring blitz. This time the Chargers do as well. Bringing secondary pressure and linebacker pressure to get after Cam Newton.
Now 3rd and 19. They need the 10. White is in the backfield. Into 6 defensive backs. Those has been quiet so far. Here comes Cam. Flag thrown. Tackle made by Nwosu, playing linebacker today because Perriman is out, injured with a back injury. Look at the former NFL MVP.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 99 defense. 5 yards will be added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
That's a killer right there. Tillery picks it up. It was 3rd and 19 as well. The defense had them right where they wanted them, and they lose it.
You're right, Kevin. 3rd and 19 in the hands to the face for 5 yards gives them an automatic first down. That's tough for a defense that really would have got them off the field, or at least to a field goal attempt. You mentioned Nwosu moving to linebacker. He's 2nd on the team in sacks with 3.5. He's been able to go back to inside linebacker to a down defensive end. His versatility has been a big bonus for Gus Bradley.
Harrison, 1st and 10, Damian Harris. Nice jump cut. And then he was tripped up by Tillery and finished off by Nwosu with a gain of 5, and Trent is down to the 18.
Here's going to be the penalty on Tillery. It took away that 3rd and long.
Well, we are flying right through this one. We're at the 2-minute warning. Cam with a 1-yard touchdown leap. Punt return of 70. Oshesky, 14-0 New England. Well, if they keep this lead at halftime by 14 points, you can see what the history has been. A lot of success, 94 straight wins. Today for Bill Belichick is the 455th game as a head coach, moving past Tom Landry for number 3 behind Don Shula and George Halas. He has accomplished a lot, 19 consecutive winning seasons, but this one's going to be a challenge. 5-6 coming in, 1-4 on the road. Currently on a 3-game road trip, 2 here in LA. Then they visit Miami. 2nd and 5, 10th play of the drive. It's Cam. Izzo a block, and he hits the deck at about the 17, gain of a yard. Just wasn't a whole lot there.
Well, Kevin, I think that ball was snapped early. The only person to move was the center. Everybody else was standing there, and it looked like it surprised Cam a little bit. Good thing he was ready for it to catch it. Now watch when the ball's snapped, and watch the movement or lack of movement by everybody else. I think that was snapped early, and Cam just kind of had to make something up and get a couple of yards out of it.
Like we said, he's the leading vote getter. David Andrews is for the center position for the AFC.
Here we go, 23!
Had a broken thumb earlier in the season. 3rd down 4, 5-minute drive. Moncrief, jet sweep. Got by Nwosu, banged by Murray, close to the first down. I think he's got it. With a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4. Dante Moncrief, and they cut Isaiah Ford because Moncrief has been starring on special teams and comes up with a first down run right there.
Well, and that was perfectly timed when the ball was snapped to get him at full speed as he gets around the edge. And as you said, Kevin, picks up the first down.
Former high pick by the Indianapolis Colts. Is in the Jets camp this year. Signed back in early November to the practice squad. They've been slowly working him in. Timeout.
Well, it's under 2 minutes, so it may be reviewed.
The previous ruling of a runner reaching the line to gain is under review.
And yeah, right. The booth will call for this.
Yep,
you got it. See if he indeed got the first down run, but they must see something up there that tells them that it's worth another look.
Well, the key here is that the ball's in his left arm, so when he's knocked out of bounds, where is the ball? It looks like the 13-yard line is where his foot steps out of bounds, but where's the ball?
I thought it was right above the foot.
Yep.
They'll review.
This is the new iPhone 12 Pro with 5G, and it's on AT&T, the fastest nationwide 5G network.
Now new and existing customers can get our best deal.
Really? Mom, AT&T has the deal for new and existing customers. I will.
So what'd she say?
It's the wrong person. It's a guy named Carl, but he's very excited and on his way.
Word of mouth advertising. It's what they did before commercials.
It's not complicated. Everyone gets our best deal, like the amazing iPhone 12 mini on us.
There's a former 3rd-round pick by the Indianapolis Colts, now in his 7th year, the veteran Dante Moncrief on the jet sweep. They're looking to see if he had the necessary yards before he stepped out of bounds to get a Patriot first down.
And Kevin, you and I haven't really seen anything that would indicate he doesn't get to the 13-yard line. That ball, as you said, was right above where his foot was when it hit the line of scrimmage, and they're back quickly.
The ruling on the field stands as called. First down, New England.
Of course, the Patriots are missing Julian Edelman. Went on IR on Halloween. Couple weeks away, they say. He had a knee procedure, so he'll come back. Receiver is certainly an issue with this team. Something they are trying to work on. Quarterback as well is a discussion we're going to get to in the second half on what Trent sees for the marriage between Newton and the Patriots. He had 4 good games really until last week against Arizona, didn't he?
Well, he has been protecting the football until last week. He had the 2 interceptions, but since he came back, you know, it started off on fire. 2-1 the first 3 games, and then he got COVID, missed the game, and when he came back off of his illness, it went 0-3 and just didn't look himself. Now all of a sudden winning 3 of the last 4, protecting the football. Not sure what's holding things up here. But the Patriots have 3 timeouts left. There's 1:14, so you pretty much can do anything you want with that amount of time and those timeouts in your pocket. No reason to leave any time for the Chargers if you decide to go in and use up as much time as you can.
He said, what'd you say? And they go, oh, that's right. That's right. There have been few times I've heard other players talk about a big name new guy to a team like these Patriots have talked in their admiration for this quarterback, Cam Newton. I mean, they are really, they're effusive in their praise and everything about him. The kind of teammate he is, the kind of work ethic he has, the time he's putting in. It may not be the best marriage in what he does right now at this stage of his career and what Josh McDaniels is looking for as a quarterback, but you've been watching a lot of tape on him. What do you see?
I have, and I'm just kind of confused as to what's going on here. There was a timeout because of the replay, and then they came back from the timeout, and Bill Belichick is still talking to the officials, so he calls a timeout. So New England was actually charged with one of their timeouts, and then now they're back in there. And Cam Newton, you know, it's interesting because he was signed late and because this offense is so complex and the things you have to do at the line of scrimmage. I've been impressed on this series, particularly what he's been able to do with the cadence and then to figure out defensively what they're doing to get him into the best play to take advantage of what the defense is doing. So he said it is a work in progress and he feels like he's getting more comfortable every week.
1st and 10, Harris tries to go through. And he picks up 3 on the play, with Tillery making the tackle and a timeout taken. He gets as far as the 10.
Well, these last 4 seconds have flown by with the replay and 2 timeouts.
We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Walmart.
Let's deck the halls over video calls with sweatpants, houseplants, and a 3 p.m. happy dance. With pizza buying and reindeer flying and just a little joyful crying with all your family and all your friends. First bites and happy ends. It's all essential in every way. And together, it makes a holiday. Let's end the year with what matters.
Stand by for a big joint. So we have the timeout. It's at the 10. Patriots' last 5 games have been decided by 7 points or fewer, with wins of 3, 6, and 3 points. The last 4 weeks, 2nd and 7. White in the backfield. Izzo on the move. Newton blocked by Izzo. Off to James White. Stiff arms his way into the defense of Jenkins, and out of bounds he goes with a gain of 3 and put him at the 7.
I like the play. I don't like him going out of bounds if you're the New England Patriots, because you're trying to, number 1, you're trying to get the first down. Number 2, you're trying to get the touchdown. But then number 3, if you're not going to get either, you need to go down on the ground and keep the clock moving here at the end of the half. But bringing up a critical third down here. Interesting to see if Gus Bradley decides to dial up some pressure like he has earlier in the game, but more towards the middle of the field.
Sony Michel is in. Harris is wide as a receiver, 3rd and 4. It's Michel, and sneaks his way down to the 2, rolls even a bit further down. They say at the 2 with a gain of 4. Plenty of time here.
I think he got it.
I think he did too.
But they'll probably get a measurement, I would think. Nope, they gave it to him.
Well, there was a nice big hole there too. My goodness. So this drive is consisted of a lot of chips away. Bird with a couple of catches, 9 and 7. Harris had a run of 7. Moncrief had a jet sweep and a first down run of 5. The Chargers defense has allowed a touchdown on 15 straight goal-to-go possessions. This does not bode well. 1st and goal at the 3.
Well, and the Chargers just used their 2nd timeout to get the clock stopped after that first down by the Patriots.
Harris in. It's Cam. And slugs his way near the 2 without a lot of breathing space. They had big Linville Joseph at the bottom of the pile with another timeout. I'd like to remind you that New York right now in our CBS studios, they're putting together for you the Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, and Hall of Fame coach Bill Cowher for scores, news, headlines, and highlights. All next on the Verizon Halftime Report. Well, Trent, what have you seen so far in this one that has surprised you or confirmed what you thought?
You know, I'm surprised just how dominant the Patriots have been. There is a sense of urgency on their part because they're trying to stay in the playoff race, but the fact that the Patriots defense has held the Chargers in check, that offense with Justin Herbert has been impressive.
2nd and goal, 16th play of the drive. He'll try to jackhammer his way in, and he got it. That's a touchdown. 2nd today for Cam Newton. A 2-yard touchdown drive.
That was a very well executed drive for the Patriots. Just a combination of run and passes, and Cam Newton once again his 11th rushing touchdown on the season. See if he breaks the plane. That'll be confirmed.
And how big was that Charger penalty, Trent, on 3rd and 19?
3rd and 19. We showed a replay of it. It was Tillery getting his hand to the face, hand to the face of Tillery that got him the first down. So it was, man, that was a big play. You're right, Kevin.
Polk puts it right through. So it's 21-0. The New England Patriots, who are making their first trip to Los Angeles since 1992. And again, as we talked about before, trying to get back to the 500 level today. They're 5-6. They've won 3 of 4. They lost until they beat Arizona last week, 20-17. Beginning the season 2-1. Then they lost 4 straight. Let's take a look at Bill Belichick. And here are the stadiums that he has not won in as of yet. This being one. And Amanda, he has put up, hasn't he, a pretty big number of stadiums that as a head coach he has won in. Well, we had a technical issue there with our sideline reporter, Amanda Balionis, who you recently saw doing the Masters for CBS.
Well, Kevin, you had talked about what surprised me or what stood out in the first half, and I said yardage-wise, this Chargers team came in with an explosive offense. They got Eckler back a week ago. Herbert's been outstanding as they get tackled here at the 15, but right now the Chargers have 63 yards of offense. That's it in the first half.
Ethel makes the hit. Herbert back out there, and only 7 of 14. And again, remember, this is a quarterback who's in the top 11 in passer rating. He's number 3 in passing yards per game in the NFL right now. Top rookie passer for sure. 7th in touchdown passes. And he has not moved the needle at all here in the first half. Nor has his offense. 1st and 10. No timeouts. Late first half. The sideline for Guyton incomplete, and Gilmore was over there, 2nd and 10.
Well, that's just trying to push it up the field. It was cover 2 the Patriots had with McCourty over the top and Gilmore rushing up and pushing the receiver Guyton to the sideline, and with not much time left, trying to squeeze it in between the safety and corner along the boundary.
This is a rarity that the Chargers are down by this much. They've lost by 3, 5, 7, 3, 1 point, 5 points, and 8 points. 2nd down and 10 here. Underneath they go. Austin Eckler field as he spins into his former teammate Adrian Phillips to the 31. Catch and run of 15, and that's a Charger first down with no timeouts. And the flag.
Yeah, they're going to get Butler. He was a little too quick on that. Hitting Feeney as he was trying to snap the ball.
Encroachment, defense, number 770, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Adam Butler, who has been starting on the line for the injured Cowart. And Byron Cowart is back today and playing for New England. 1st and 5 is now the situation.
Well, and Kevin, there's still time here. 27 seconds, no timeouts. You can utilize the middle of the field because you can get everybody up and get a spike of the football. You don't have to work the boundary. If you do, that's a bonus, but still don't be afraid to work the middle of the field. Try and get in a position for a field goal.
Here comes Uche and hits the quarterback very quickly on the play. Coming through again, he has had 2 significant quarterback pressures in the first half and looking good. High pick out of Michigan. Josh Uche with another nice move. 2nd and 5.
And that's just a miscommunication between tackle and guard. Forrest Lamp goes to his right and Storm Norton goes to his left, so that leaves Uche with nobody on him coming right inside that B gap. It's an easy line to the quarterback, but nobody touches him.
On the left tackle, Sam Tevy with his wife, and about ready to have their 3rd child delivered. 2nd down and 5. So Norton making his first start, trying to block Winovich. Here comes the pressure hit. Brought down hard. There's a flag. I don't know what more they want him to do. Went low, certainly. Wise did. Wise is getting up. It's an incomplete pass, but the ball was still in the quarterback's hand.
It was, and he even jumped to try and get the throw. So it looks like it's going to be offsetting penalties, illegal touching of the ball. Norton was the first one. That was actually who the pass was to.
Dietrich Wise was coming off the edge.
Watch as he jumps, though, up in the air.
illegal touch, number 74 offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
So it hit Norton, the left tackle. The ball did.
Yes, and that was the one penalty, but there were 2 flags that were thrown. So I think that extended discussion is why they decided to overturn, because it was a low hit on the quarterback, but Herbert jumped in the air, which made it a lower hit than what it would have been.
And he's 6'6".
Yes.
So when he leaps, he's like 7 foot. And here in Los Angeles, that kind of length means basketball.
Well, in New England.
For the world champion Lakers.
Yes, it does. And New England's trying to decide
what they want. And they push it out to the 36.
But I think they're talking about maybe whether they add more time back on the clock or if they have to use the timeout, because they've still got 2 in their pocket. And we know the problems that the Chargers have had with their special teams.
So they decline the penalty. 3rd and 5.
Lucky! Lost 21, bro. You got squeezed.
7 defensive backs. Eckler out of the backfield. Good block by Bulaga downfield for Keenan Allen. Top receiver in the NFL. Drilled in by Bryant.
Sorry to jump in, but they're wanting. They got to get everybody up there and spike it, try and get this field goal attempt.
23-yard completion moments ago to Allen. And they got 3 seconds, Trent. So as you call it, now they're going to try a long field goal.
Sorry about that,
No.
The clock was running down. I'm like, you guys got to get up there. I'm yelling at the offensive line as I'm sitting up here. Because I'm like, guys, you got to get up there. You got to hustle. But they did. They got the ball spiked, and now they'll have 3 seconds to try a 58-yarder.
Well, it's a 58-yard field goal. Pre-game warm-ups. Angeli was hitting him from 58, and so that's why they're so quick to put him out there. Again, we're covered but not enclosed. But there is no wind. A 58-yarder to get on the board by Michael Angeli. And that is blocked. And it's picked up on the play and grabbed by McCourty. And here comes Devin, who will take it in. And that is a touchdown, a second special teams touchdown for New England. Devin McCourty reels in, vacuums in the loose ball. And the first blocked field goal of Badgley's career. And the second special teams touchdown. I'm not sure if Bethel got a hand on it, but there goes Devin McCourty for 6.
I think it was 22, Cody Davis, that was able to get the block, and the woes continue for the Chargers in their special teams. They had 3 blocked punts coming into this game, but now a blocked field goal that gets returned for a touchdown. Just when you thought they could get some momentum, get 3 points on the board, they got the ball first coming out in the second half. Instead, it's rejected and returned for a touchdown.
So Devin McCourty gets his 2nd touchdown of the season. He had a return week 2 against Seattle on a pick. He vacuums in the blocked field goal and races 44 yards for the touchdown. Wow. First half highlights from Verizon coming up next in a word from your local CBS station.
Want more stats? Just ask Siri, who leads the league in passing touchdowns.
Back in Los Angeles with a 28-0 halftime lead going to the second half for the New England Patriots with Trent Green, Kevin Harlan. Special teams have made their mark on this one.
Well, and we knew that coming in, that the Chargers have had problems on special teams all season long, and it showed itself again today. A missed field goal, a punt return by the Patriots for a touchdown, and then right before the half, they had a chance to get 3 points on the board and blocked field goal that was returned for a touchdown. Cam Newton's played very efficiently in the first half. He's completing 70% of his passes. Not a lot of yards, but they're running the football so well. The Patriots 127 yards rushing already in this game, and Cam Newton with 2 rushing touchdowns. On the other side of it is Justin Herbert. The young quarterback is completing less than 50% of his passes, and they really haven't been able to get anything going offensively. Under 100 yards of offense in that first half, and haven't been able. He's been under pressure all day.
Adderley will bring it out on the Bailey kickoff, and Duggar gets him up high. So the return of 18, and we've sent it downstairs to Amanda.
Thanks, Kevin. Talked to Chargers coach Anthony Lynn, and he said, listen, special teams, he was understandably disgusted with that, saying it's the worst that we have played all year. There are 14 points on the board that simply should not be there. In terms of the pressure the Patriots defense is bringing to this offense, he said we are going to make some adjustments to hopefully get Justin a little bit more comfortable offensively. For Bill Belichick, he said we have got to contain these, we got to stay out of these 3rd and long opportunities. I asked about his defense. He said, we've had decent pass rush.
I should say they just had a penalty called on the Chargers coming out. It's back to the 8-yard line. Trent, the Chargers have lost 4 games this season after having double-digit leads. That is not the case clearly today. Now they're digging out a hole in the pistol. Herbert, 1st and 10. Austin Eckler, Feeney a block. Bentley around his ankles, just past the 10 with a gain of 3.
Well, Kevin, I think that's the thing that shocked me a little bit from the first half was the fact that the Chargers traditionally this season have started fast, whereas New England is a second-half team, and that was just the exact opposite in that first half as New England jumps out to a 4-touchdown lead.
With a 2nd down and 7, Herbert. The time to come up the middle now, and it's off to Eckler, who's grabbed again by Bentley and twirls his way to the 16 with a gain of 5.
Eckler, after missing 7 games because of a hamstring injury, jumped right back into it a week ago. Had 14 carries and 11 receptions, so 25 touches in that game last week. No easing him back into it.
Tore his left hamstring, week 4 at Tampa Bay. That's 7 weeks. Now he's back in, 3rd down 2. 2nd game back from the layoff. 7 in the secondary. Herbert to the sideline. Hunter Henry has it right in front of Devin McCourty. It's a first catch for him. It's a 1st down on a gain of 6 to the 21. That's the resume in the first half for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Well, they got things going. You know, that first series, 12 plays, and as we said, the special teams problems, a missed field goal, and since that point, they haven't had much going.
Eckler on 1st and 10, brought down by Adam Butler, who collides with him after a gain of 3 to the 24-yard line. Butler playing with a bad shoulder today. They'll bring Cowart back out. 2nd and 7.
Kevin, I like the fact that the Chargers are trying to change things up. Yes, they're 4 touchdowns down, but go get to some tempo, trying to get some rhythm going offensively, going to this no huddle.
Norton the block, and there's a pass on 2nd down and 7. It goes to Keenan Allen, hit by, as you can see, Duggar along with Jennings, and a gain of 4 to the 28.
Well, Amanda just told us about her conversation with Anthony Lynn and how they needed to do some things protection-wise to give Justin Herbert a chance. I think what's been pretty evident already here at the beginning of this series, they didn't change anything up with the offensive line and what they're doing protection-wise. What they're doing from a play-calling standpoint is much quicker throws. He's getting the ball out of his hands quickly. All of his throws have been under 10 yards, so trying to protect him a little bit and keep that pass rush away.
3rd and 3, moving that pocket. Here's Herbert, and it's intercepted by Winovich. Got the ball, big-time pick at the 32 of the Chargers. First interception for Winovich. And look at where New England will begin it. Everything going their way.
Well, this is just a rookie mistake, inexperience. Rolling out to your right, you can't throw it back the other way. And even if you think it's a throwback, you know that someone's back there. Generally, throwbacks are lofted into the other side of the field. Keenan Allen that time throwing his hands in the air, and the frustration is only going to mount as this second half continues.
Another pick right there. That is the 13th interception by the New England defense.
59! 59!
First and 10. With a gain to the 29-yard line, and that is a pickup of 3 with the running back, Sony Michel, who had missed some time with an injury. Gain of 3 right there, and tackled on the play by Justin Jones.
Well, as I said, it was an effective half of running the football for the Patriots. Now at 130 yards rushing. I would think that that's going to continue here in the second half with the lead that they have and trying to keep the clock moving.
Winovich with his first career interception, 2nd and 7. And there's a dart thrown by Cam, and it's caught by Ryan Izzo, the tight end, 13th reception of the season. Tackled by Murray. They pick up 6 to the 23.
As I said just a little bit ago, the Patriots haven't had to lean too heavily on the passing game because their running game has been so effective. But right now, Cam Newton, 8 of 11 for just 48 yards. But more importantly, no turnovers.
Here's a 3rd and 1, and they've run the ball on every 3rd and 1 situation this season. They've converted 16 of 18 of them. 3rd and 1. Blocked by Michelle. Cam's got the first and lunges ahead near the 15. Hit by Murray. They'll spot him at the 17. Gain of 8 on the play.
I thought there was going to be a fumble here. It looked like he was indecisive whether he was going to hand it off or keep it. See how long he rides it, and then he kind of pulls out right at the last second and then uses Michelle as a lead blocker.
And that's his game, isn't it, for Newton? Reaction. Reacting what the defense gives him or doesn't give him.
Hey, 56!
It is. He's had great success with that throughout his entire career.
Michelle, the back. 1st and 10. Sony Michelle. There was a block by Owenu, and outside he goes, and Murray jumps on his back and rides him down near the 14 with a gain of 3 on that 1st down run.
Well, Murray, the rookie first rounder, has been impressive this year. He's 67 tackles, his 3rd on the team. He's very good against the run. You see him trying to get everybody fired up. He's not used to losing football teams. He went to Oklahoma and just trying to bring some energy. He talked to us about the conversation. See right there, Justin Herbert, the 2 first rounders, the conversations they've had as young players, the expectations as being first rounders and what they want to try and do for this organization.
Harrison, 2nd down, 7. Cam throws it away. Pressure was coming right there from Bosa with the flag, as you see, thrown.
Well, I think they're going to get Bosa with a low hit on Cam.
Low hit. As he is saying, sorry.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 97, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic, 1st down.
Bosa had 3 sacks last week against Buffalo.
He's going to be at the top of the screen. Now he comes off, and Bosa saying he was pushed, which you could see the hand of Owenu pushing him in the back, and immediately got up and helped Cam up and was like, listen, there wasn't any ill intention in that. So I thought that was a good gesture on his part as he went over to Cam and just say, listen, I'm not trying to take the knees out.
1st and goal at the 7. Harris blocked by Andrews to the 4. And tackled there by Justin Jones. Give him 2. They'll mark him at the 5.
Well, a little chippiness after the play. You can see the frustration of the Chargers defenders mounting a little bit as Jenkins was getting into it with Izzo. 23 and 85. Of course, everybody holds their hands up afterwards, right?
I didn't do it.
It wasn't me.
2nd and goal at the 5. Newton has had 2 rushing touchdowns today. To the end zone with a throw. Incomplete. Kobe Myers back there, and the 4-time Pro Bowler Chris Harris is right on his tail. The Patriots have 19 rushing touchdowns this season. That is just in back of New Orleans and Arizona. And a 3rd and goal at the 5 right now.
Well, I would think they want to try and get Cam out in space, get him moving a little bit, make it a dual threat kind of option.
White is in. Newton, and boy, what a great catch made on a terrific throw, and it was Harry. N'Keal Harry, and a 5-yard touchdown laser thrown by Cam Newton. 2nd touchdown reception of the season for Harry, who is coming to some criticism for a lack of production. But that time he lassos a rocket. And the lead is 34-0 New England.
Well, instead of getting him out in space, how about we just take the ball, take 3 steps, plant the back foot, and fire it? N'Keal Harry just goes up. He goes about 1.5 yards, 2 yards into the end zone, and then just turns around. And if you're Cam Newton, all you do is throw it right at the back of the helmet, so the timing works.
With the extra point here, 35-0 with the New England Patriots in a commanding, to say the least, lead over the Chargers. 3rd touchdown reception by a Patriot wide receiver this year. Only the 3rd. Brand new SoFi Stadium right there in the foreground. The background, that's the Forum the Lakers used to play. Clippers are going to move out in this part of the woods. Not too far from now. And the kickoff by Bailey. And taken by Nasir Adderley, who is brought down on the play by Miles Bryant. 15-yard return. Here's that interception, the first of the career for Winovich.
Well, and here's the Guyton is going to be going to the backside, and this is going to be a double out. So the read is to the front side. You're trying to pick up the first down. It's 3rd down, so you've got a double out to the front. There's nobody open, so you go to the backside. The problem is the defense stays there. They stay to the backside. They're ready for the throwback. Eckler was working the backside from a protection standpoint, so Winovich stayed with Eckler. Eckler's a big part of the passing game. Well, then all of a sudden, Winovich realizes, wait, they're throwing it back, and he jumps in front of Guyton and gets the interception. So excellent job of staying back home for Winovich and protecting the backside.
Herbert 1st and 10. First time today for Mike Williams. Blocked by Guyton. And he's brought down by Adrian Phillips with a catch and run of about 9. Let's go to New York and James Brown.
3rd touchdown of the game for Aaron Rodgers.
And 36th of the year and 400 for his career in his 193rd game. They lead 20-3. The fastest quarterback to hit 400, Kevin.
Boomer thanks. Drop pass right there by the running back, Balaj. And that was a 2nd and 1. And so now it is 3rd and 1. We have mentioned it briefly, but Bill Belichick against rookie quarterbacks, Trent, is a pretty significant record of 20-5. He always seems to dial up the right things defensively to go against the young quarterback.
Well, and he's been known throughout his career, whether it be as a defensive coordinator or now as a head coach, finding the part of the opposing team that you want to take away.
Balaj, 3rd and 1, gets the first and brought down by Bentley at the 37 with a gain of 6. Amanda, what do you have?
Justin Herbert has been showing frustrations throughout this game and mainly sitting by himself on the bench. But after that interception, multiple of his offensive linemen came over, gave him words of encouragement, as did Anthony Lynch. They're trying to get him up and going.
Thank you. 1st and 10. Here comes a big-time hit by Lawrence Guy, a former Charger, right off the edge. 2nd sack by the Patriots today. Back to the 29. They lose 9.
Well, this isn't a battle the Chargers are going to win if you've got Balaj trying to block Guy. I mean, you're giving up well over 100 pounds in that battle. Balaj is just trying to help the offensive line by getting on him late. That's not one he's going to win, and obviously he didn't win that one as Herbert ended up on his back.
On 2nd down and 19. Keenan Allen has only got 3 receptions. Eckler has carried it 5 times. The 2 biggest weapons quiet today. 2nd and 19. Eckler here. Butler's got a grab on him and rides him down at about the 37-yard line with a run of 7 right there by Austin Eckler, undrafted out of Western State in Colorado.
Well, Kevin, I want to get to the conversations we had with Bill Belichick about Justin Herbert, and he just said, listen, I don't see anything about his game that gets frustrated. He's able to maintain composure, maintain poise when you're pressuring him. Those guys, he goes, I don't see a rookie quarterback when I'm studying him on tape. So he knew he had a big day ahead of him in terms of what they're trying to do. They've just been able to get after him. The amount of pressure they've been able to apply for a team that hasn't applied much pressure this season has been outstanding.
3rd and 11, and a nice reception. Guyton caught it with a lot of defenders around him. Finally, Miles Bryant brings him down. 23-yard connection on 3rd and 11 to the 39 of New England.
Well, and this is just a rope right up the inside edge of the numbers. And when you get safety play middle of the field closed, you try and work those inside seams. And Excellent catch by Guyton, as that had some heat on it.
It did indeed. 1st and 10. Fake to Eckler. Blocked by Parham. Downfield, Williams couldn't hold on to it. And Adrian Phillips was there. Covering on the play, 2nd down and 10.
Well, I don't know if Herbert's having trouble with his helmet because he keeps coming over to the sideline.
And now Tyrod Taylor is going to offer his. And Herbert runs back out there. Tyrod Taylor was the starter, and then with the infamous story about trying to deaden the pain of some ribs, the needle accidentally punctured a lung. And so as the ball was being kicked off, Herbert got the start in an early season game. 2nd and 10 with a pass down the middle, and it's caught near the 35-yard line. Keenan Allen had it. Storm Norton gave a nice block at the left tackle, starting today for Tevy. Gain of 4 to the 35.
And Shane Steichen, the offensive coordinator, is out on the field just trying to yell what the play is going to be. You saw, as you mentioned, Kevin, Tyrod Taylor trying to switch helmets. That used to be the case. Now all these helmets are made or fitted to the guy's heads.
3rd and 6. Balaj looking for a block, and that ball was deflected by Butler. Got in the passing lane and knocked it away. Butler had a tip pass last week as well. Mike Williams, the intended receiver. Certainly the Patriots know the importance of every game, including today, needing a win to keep in that wild card conversation, because all the wild card opponents all won today. They need the 29, 4th and 6.
Hey, lead!
Here they come off the edge. There goes the throw, and it was picked off on the play by J.C. Jackson. Jackson comes up with his 7th interception. He came in number 2 in the NFL in interceptions coming in. His 7th pick right there. 9th takeaway this season, including 8 consecutive games. He is some kind of undrafted player. Another find for the Patriots.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Domino's. Taking safety seriously. Order online. Amazon. And by Pepsi. Made for football. Watching.
Well, for so long, the names Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers have been labeled on this matchup between the Chargers and the Patriots. Brady dominating those meetings, winning all 8, including 3 postseason wins. 13 years they went head-to-head with their teams. Now they're both gone. From the 21st and 10 for Newton after the interception. Jakob Johnson drilled that time by Kenneth Murray. Jakob Johnson gets his 8th reception of the season, picks up a yard gain to the 21. So it's been since 1997. Bledsoe against Stan Humphries. Remember, the quarterback for the Chargers was Drew Bledsoe. Rather, not Drew Bledsoe, but Drew Brees. Bledsoe was with New England, but Brees was the quarterback, and they drafted Rivers, and he sat and watched, and then as a free agent, Brees went on. 2nd down 9. With Harris taking it, shimmies up the middle, grabbed by Murray. Nice tackle to the 28. Gain of 7 to Boomer and James in New York.
Hey, Boom, the Rams at it.
Yeah, Jared Goff, what a game thus far. 32 of 40, 313, 1 touchdown, throwing 1 touchdown, running, as you see right there. They extend their lead 24-14 over the Cardinals.
Kevin, Trent, and Amanda.
Thank you, guys. We're enjoying these updates because our game is not close right now. As you can see, 4 to play, clock ticking, 3rd quarter, 3rd and 2. Patriots will stay here on the West Coast, and Thursday night play the Rams in this building. We think. LA County's got a lot of restrictions on it right now. Timeout taken by Cam.
First charge, timeout, New England.
Will step aside as well. A couple interceptions by the Patriot defense. Aerial coverage of today's game provided by Goodyear. 70-degree day here in Los Angeles. Beautiful LA and an early December Sunday afternoon. 3rd and 2 after the timeout. White with a block and a good one on Murray. Time for Cam. And low, and I think caught and scooped in by Myers. Coverage by Harris. Ball was there, out to the 43, 15-yard pickup on 3rd and 2.
James White, watch this block that he's going to come up and put up on Murray's on the blitz, right up the middle, right through the A gap, and watch White as he comes in. He gets low, stalemate, gives time for Newton to get rid of the ball and get the completion.
Nice play by James White, and certainly this has been a very turbulent season for him, tragically losing his parents in September, some time away from the team and the thoughts of everyone. Haran now playing that left tackle in this series. With a run right here by Harris, stiff arms his way into the defense of Davis, and down he goes about the 48, Trent, on a gain of 5.
Well, when you think about what the Patriots have been able to do today, and yeah, they have the 2 special teams touchdowns, but offensively they've done an excellent job of running the football. Over 150 yards rush. They came into today averaging 150 yards. They already have 153 yards rushing here in the 3rd quarter.
2nd down 5. Outside Jacoby Myers. There's a block by Harry. It didn't matter because Adderley was all over it. No gain on the play. Nasir Adderley. Played only 10 defensive snaps a season ago. Hamstring issues. Starter this year. 2nd-round pick out of Delaware. And he's been also returning kicks today because they have Joe Reed, the rookie out of UVA, inactive. 3rd and 5. This is the 12th ranked defense in the NFL, by the way. This is not just a pushover defense at all for the Chargers, but they have given up a lot of points. 25th in points allowed. 3rd and 5. 2 special teams touchdowns today for New England. White was setting the block. They were coming off the edge, and Owenu was over there trying to keep him free. And there's Murray. He is really riled up. They need a voice. He thinks he can be that, and so they hold him right there, and it's a punting situation for the Patriots.
I enjoyed our conversation we had with him the other day. He's a good young talent, obviously a 1st-round pick. He's fired up, trying to get these guys going. You said the defense has had a decent year, not a great year. Anytime your record's sitting the way it is, it doesn't mean it's a great year, but I like him as a young player and somebody they can build this team around.
Jake Bailey, and there goes the whistle. So they'll blow that dead in mid-motion. His punts, Bailey's punts, have allowed the 2nd fewest return yards.
Defense, 12 players. 5-yard penalty. That yardage results in a 1st down.
Oh, my goodness. Can you believe that? It was 4th and 5. It's the penalty, and it's a 1st down. Before they had
you
too
just
few
asked
guys.
if I could believe it. Yes, I can believe it based on what we've seen for the Chargers. Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
No. You can take it from there. That's just.
It's,
this is really amazing.
Earlier on one of their punt coverages, they only had 10 guys.
Right.
So I think that's where the confusion was, is they ran their 11th guy off the field right at the snap because they were worried. Well, then that gave them 10. So now all of a sudden, Nwosu's the one that is shaking his head coming off the field, 42. So he stays on for the punt return. And next thing you know, now they're all yelling at him like, you're the 12th guy. And he goes, well, wait a second. Last time you were saying I was the 11th guy and I made it 10. So just major miscommunication in that phase of the game hurts him once again.
3rd special teams penalty. White is back there. 1st and 10. Blocks are there. Going deep is Cam. And he's looking for the receiver. The outstretched Jacoby Myers. Incomplete. And Adderley was covering across the way. He's also thrown, by the way, Myers a touchdown pass. That was against Baltimore. He's had 1 rush, and he's got 36 receptions.
Yeah, he's the player that's really stood up since Edelman went out.
Which college sports programs are being hit the hardest by COVID? You'll be surprised by what 60 Minutes found out. That's tonight on CBS. 2nd and 10. Harris in with Johnson. Dalton Keene is in as an extra tight end. He runs over that slot along with Haran, and he carves room. Harris does. A gain of 3 to the 44. To New York. Here's James and Boomer.
Cardinals, no give up.
You know, after a Ram fumble, the Cardinals get the ball back. They take it all the way down. Kenyon Drake goes in from 4 yards out. They close the gap. 24 Rams, 21 Cardinals.
Back to Kevin Harlan.
Last week, this Patriot defense held Kyler Murray without a touchdown pass for the first time in his season. They're pretty proud of that in that win over Arizona. 3rd and 7. Thank you guys for the update. That's a big game in the West. Good blocking again, winding up and going deep, and for Bird, and broken up by Adderley and by Davis, who said, listen, that was my ball. And now he's going to help both guys up as Demir Bird was down there too. An incompletion.
Well, and you got to give credit to the pressure. The fact that they were able to get back at Bosa, or Bosa was able to get back at Cam Newton, that delayed the timing of that throw. Cam Newton had to slide up in the pocket and just underthrew the ball. As you said, Kevin, it could have easily been an interception by either player, and they ran into each other and set up the punt.
Bailey to punt. And he has gotten 16 inside the 10. And saved, I believe, right there by Bethel. And downed at the 4 by the guy that blocked the field goal earlier on, Cody Davis. 39-yard punt, and that was textbook. What a play by Justin Bethel. One of the top tacklers on the special teams, and a big play there.
FL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon, the network more people rely on. And by Jeep. There's only one.
Patriots marooned this offense of the Chargers at the 5, and a brilliant play by Justin Bethel.
51,
Saved it.
51, single.
Herbert is 15 of 31. Eckler falls his way near the 10. Brought down by Wise. It's a gain of 5.
Well, the Chargers have had 8 different drives, and they've started on average their own 17-yard line. So another emphasis on special teams and what the New England Patriots have been able to do, winning that phase of the game.
Chargers are not hit. You're right. Good beginning field position today. 2nd down, 5. That's incomplete. Maybe for Allen. Duggar was there. 1 second left in the quarter. Winovich had a pick earlier in this game. First of his career. There's a special teams coordinator, Coach Acord, who has done a great job. Cam has got the special teams playing terrific. They've got a blocked field goal for a touchdown. 3rd and 5 coming up. Special teams touchdown, punt return. Mike Williams, the back pedal for a first. J.C. Jackson there. And they slow him up, and he has a gain of 6 on 3rd and 5 and a first down for the Chargers when we come back to Los Angeles. 2 special teams touchdowns for the New England Patriots. By the way, I want to apologize. I mentioned before about James White. His mother survived the crash. She is recovering nicely, James told us the other day. But he did lose his father in that. My apologies. With Herbert on 1st and 10. And outside he goes here for the first time to Josh Kelly. Rookie running back from UCLA. Brought down by Adrian Phillips from behind about the 19-yard line on a gain of 2. Here's a look at James White. Boy, the outpouring of thoughts and prayers for he and his family back in September from around the NFL community and the New England area. Amazing. 2nd and 8. Underneath they go. Big hit right there by Phillips again. The catch made by Kelly on a gain of 1. Let's go back to New York and James with Boomer.
Rams on the ground.
Yeah, Darrell Henderson's going to take this one 38 yards for a TD run. Jared Goff, 37 of 46, 351 yards. He has a touchdown pass in this game as well. Rams extend their lead 31-21 over the Cardinals.
Kevin and Trent.
All right, guys, thank you. Tomorrow, the San Francisco 49ers are going to play in that stadium. And they're going to face the Buffalo Bills in a Monday night game because activities outside in that San Francisco area shut down. 3rd and 7. Deep they go. Looking for Williams. Was he in? Out of bounds on the chalk. J.C. Jackson was there. And some coverage as well. Posted by Miles Bryant. Jackson coming up. He had an interception earlier in the game, and he is limping to the sideline.
Well, Mike Williams is so talented at balls thrown like this. Because of his size, you could see, or at least it looked like from that angle, the first foot gets down, and before the second one can get down, his hand hits the ground. So that right forearm landed out of bounds before the left foot got down. He did get both feet inbounds, but it was just that arm coming down prior to the second foot getting down.
Trying to get on top of that J.C. Jackson injury as they look at him over on the sideline. Olszewski is back. He had a terrific punt return earlier for a touchdown. Had a great one last week, called back, but he did have 53 yards on that. And here he goes from the 30 and looking again for some room, and that's exactly what he's got with the blocker ahead. That's Bethel. He also got a block in the play from Barry, and look, he's inside the 20. He's done it again.
What a phenomenal job by the Patriots, and a poor job continuing for the Chargers.
61-yard punt return. Earlier had one to the house for 70 yards. Timeout. Olszewski had that 58-yard punt return last week. Actually made the end zone, but there was a penalty. And a special teamer, Therese Hall. This one returned 61. Newton 1st and 10, Sony Michel. And around his ankle, he's got Nick Vigil. And the gain to about the 14, pick of 3 on the play as you take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. Certainly New England trying to get back to 500 in the mix. Vegas won today in kind of a dramatic game against the Jets. Wow, that was some kind of finish there.
All of these won today, right? I mean, that's why this is such an important game.
Yes.
For New England.
2nd down, 7.
Here we go, 59!
Michelle. Keene. The block. Michelle, the run. Andrews trying to shove them down to the 10, and that's exactly where they go with a gain of about 4 on the play. Dalton Keene, rookie out of Virginia Tech, was activated off IR. He was activated over the 3rd-round rookie, Devin Asiasi, who is still there, and they chose to go with Keene today. 3rd and 3.
If you think about the chart, I mean, just the field position the Patriots have had with the turnovers, and then obviously their special teams. Chargers defense hasn't given up a ton of yards, but it's the field position that's really. There's Murray.
Boy, he blew that up, didn't he? There was no place to go except hit the deck, losing 4. Cam Newton back to the 14. Field goal unit will take.
Well, we just started the 4th quarter, Kevin, and that's his 12th solo tackle on the day, his 14th total tackle. He had a sack earlier. You've mentioned it numerous times. He's trying to energize that side of the ball, and he's been a lot more vocal throughout this entire game, especially here in the second half, trying to get that side going.
32-yard field goal here for Folk, who has made 19 consecutive field goals. The game winner against Arizona last week from 50 is from 32. With these, he cans it 38-0. 61-yard punt return by Olszewski. That sets that up early in the 4th.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Lowe's. We put the home in home team. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure. And by Charmin. We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
The late Junior Seau, Hall of Fame linebacker, played for both the Chargers and the Pats. Reached the Super Bowl with both franchises as well. Joey Bosa just passed Junior Seau for number 5 in the Chargers' all-time sack list. Here is the ensuing kickoff after the 32-yard Nick Folk field goal. It's a 26-yard return. Special teams today for the Patriots, the story.
It really has been the story, and when you consider all that's taken place, first off, the multiple punt returns, that one for a touchdown, and then right before the half, the block by Cody Davis, returned by McCourty for the touchdown. And then we just saw the last field goal was set up by this punt return.
I'm going through. Jump it.
Hey, reload.
Hey, 21. One field.
Delta shot.
Herbert, Balaj, Phillips, no gain. There was another good block by that. There's a late flag thrown on that one too at the 31. There was another good block on that return by Moncrief, and again, that was one of the reasons why they kept him over the receiver they had traded for.
Number 70, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Isaiah Ford in a deal with the Dolphins. Butler picks it up. Krzyzewski looking at some of his handiwork today, and second most punt returns in a game in Patriot history. Mike Haynes, the great Mike Haynes, did it in '76 against the Buffalo Bills. Keene Spence has come in. Here's his drive, and it's a 1st and 10 throw, and it's incomplete. And there is the first-year player, Therese Hall. 4 games played since coming off the practice squad. He's out of Missouri. And they think he's got a lot of promise, a lot of upside. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Chargers.
And Kevin, after a big play by a linebacker, I don't want to get too far away from our tribute of Junior Seau without saying I spent my first year in the league. My rookie year was with the Chargers, and I was able to spend one season with Junior, and just what an incredibly hard worker, the way he prepared, the way he studied, but then just the nicest guy off the field, and definitely someone I miss.
Well said. Balaj tackled by Phillips with a gain of 8 on the play, and he's up to the 38.
This is my first time in this stadium. It's pretty spectacular.
It's beautiful. 3rd and 2, and he's got it for the first down. Get the catch there made by Steven Anderson, who spent some time in the Patriot practice squad back in 18, 2 years with the Texans, gain of 6. Wait till they get fans in here.
Oh, it's going to be phenomenal. I mean, just the way the boards are set up, the visuals, the sight lines, everything.
1st and 10 with the catch by Mike Williams. Quiet today, tackled by Devin McCourty. With a gain of 20 and a first down, let's go to James and Boomer.
It's just me there, Kevin. How about Jalen Reagor, the rookie 1st-round pick out of TCU? Well, this rookie's going to pay dividends right here. He muffs the ball, picks it up, and he's going to take it back for a 73-yard punt return. 23-16, Packers lead. Back to you, Kevin.
A lot closer than people thought. Thank you. We have a long pass to Guyton in the end zone, and the Gilmore coverage, and the incompletion with 9.5 to go here. After they just got 20 through the air to Mike Williams.
Well, not that he needs to show off his arm strength because he's shown it all year long, but that was a 50-yard laser. Normally to throw it that far, you have a little height to the ball to get it to turn over. That was just a rope. It's I know it wasn't complete, but it's still impressive from an arm strength standpoint.
Coming into today, Herbert had 10 consecutive games with a touchdown pass. 2nd down and 10. Right now, the Patriots pitching a shutout. There's a run by Eckler. And the tackle made by Hall on a gain of 6 to the Pats 30.
Well, you mentioned the 10 consecutive games with a touchdown pass. Keenan Allen, 5 consecutive games with a touchdown reception.
Yes.
So far on the day, just 4 receptions for 35 yards. We talked about that matchup when in man-to-man, Stephon Gilmore would mirror him, and right now Gilmore's had the best of it.
6 in the secondary, 3rd down and 4 for Herbert. Blocked by Balaga, the former Packer. They dump it off to Eckler by himself in space, and then quickly shutting the door there was Hall and Phillips. Therese Hall getting his fingerprints on this defensively, and the clock continues to tick, and it's 4th down. Clearly they'll go for it, trailing 38-0.
Well, earlier they had the ball down at the 35-yard line, and instead of attempting a 53-yard field goal, they decided to go for it. Didn't get it, and then now it's 4th and 4 at the 30. As you said, down 38-0. You just have to do what you can to try and pick up the first down, if not the touchdown.
With a 4th down and 4. And from behind, taken down. That's Butler. Butler gets him from behind. Nice sack. Third sack by the defense today. Second for Butler. And that will bring on the offense and a new quarterback for the Pats.
Okay. Let's see what you got, Oculus. Don't look down, don't look down. Oh, shouldn't have looked down. Oh, it's okay, I'm okay. Let's go. Hey, how do I relax? Get into it. Yeah, I got it. Whoa.
Rated E for everyone.
New quarterback, Jarrett Stidham. Get the 1st and 10 and pressure up the middle, and downfield he is looking for receiver N'Keal Harry. Which is incomplete. Pressure was up the middle from Bosa. There's a look at Stidham. Began his college career at Baylor, starting some games there, then transferred to a community college and finished up with 2 years starting at Auburn. The Patriots selected him in the 4th round of the draft last year. He is 11 of 24 now through the air in his limited time as the backup to Cam Newton. He had 2 rushing touchdowns today in this New England win. 2nd down and 10. Stidham again underneath. Nice catch made right there. Michelle dancing free and takes it inside the 40-yard line of the Chargers. Nice play. Catch and run of 23.
Well, and it was the ground game that was working today for the Patriots. Right now sitting at 159 yards rushing, and Cam Newton with 2 rushing touchdowns. Damian Harris with 80 yards rushing. You know, Cam Newton didn't have the best of games a week ago. Only 84 yards passing, those 2 interceptions, and afterwards he got pretty sensitive. I don't care, we won the game. Well, today he had 69 yards passing, and they're well on their way.
Glenville Joseph with the tackle on Michelle. They're averaging, Trent, the Patriots offense, the most rushing yards per game since 1983 for a New England team. And that kid right there has been right at the forefront, averaging over 5 yards a carry. Today, 80 yards on 16 attempts. 2nd and 9 for Stidham. Ron still at that left tackle. Wide open. Here comes Olszewski. Breaking 1 tackle, a foot race to the end zone. That's a touchdown. 38-yard touchdown pass to Gunnar Olszewski. He has scored on offense. He has scored on special teams. He's doing it all. Pretty play, great throw, and a touchdown for New England. Career-long reception.
He's just going to work the seam. Olszewski's sitting, working in the middle of the field, and the Chargers trying to bring pressure. Looks like zone coverage, and with the drop there, why they're throwing up 38-0, I'm sure that's not going to sit real well on the Chargers sideline, but you've got a young quarterback in Stidham that you're trying to get some work and get some reps in. Excellent throw by Stidham.
Olszewski has his first receiving touchdown. He has his first career special teams touchdown. It's been a historic day for the player from Bemidji State. Today in the NFL, in a busy day, the Saints went to Atlanta and beat the Falcons and clinch a playoff berth. Drew Brees, by the way, getting better by the day. The Browns had a big early lead. Tennessee made it tight at the end. And the Colts outlast the Texans, who have been playing well. Are now tied with Tennessee for first in the South. And what a play by the rookie Ruggs on a throw by Carr, which was perfect, dropping a dime, a 46-yard touchdown pass with 5 seconds remaining to win in New York. After they had lost a game in Atlanta, they got crushed last week in Atlanta, and Before that, they played that Sunday game very close against the Super Bowl champion Chiefs, but lost that in Vegas.
Well, in the previous play, Carr missed an Aguilar that was open in the back of the end zone, somehow got behind the coverage in zone coverage, and then the next down, Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator for the Jets, dials up an all-out blitz pressure, and Ruggs gets that double move touchdown down the sideline for Carr to get that win.
How about Olszewski? He just made the tackle on special teams. He's returning punts for TDs. He's catching touchdown receptions as a receiver, and he's making tackles. Boy, what another find by the Patriots.
So the fact that they're 4 days from now, they're playing back in this stadium again, you think he's going to be excited about returning to this stadium? It's a pretty phenomenal day for that young man.
I told you he was a defensive back throughout college before making the switch to wide receiver in the NFL. His dad was a minor league baseball pitcher. Herbert on 1st and 10. Keenan Allen trying to find some running room past the 40 to the 41. And brought down to the play by Hall. 13-yard pickup to James and Boomer.
Boomer, Giants fans are cheering.
They should be. Russell Wilson on 4th and 18. 46 seconds left to go in the game. Is going to throw up a prayer to see if he can at least get a first down. This ball is going to fall harmlessly to the ground, and the Giants go out to Seattle and upset the Seattle Seahawks 17-12.
Back to Kevin Harlan.
How about that?
That is a big wow.
Seattle had played Monday in Philly and won. And we just had an incompletion, by the way, during that little break to New York to get you updated on a very impressive win for the Giants. A turnover by the quarterback Wilson. 2nd down and 10. Joe Judge has done a nice job with New York. Here's a pass up the middle, and that's caught by a sitting K.J. Hill out of Ohio State, and a gain of 7 on the play.
Especially when you consider the early injury to Saquon Barkley, and he was the centerpiece really of what that offense was doing. And then now Daniel Jones missing some games because of a hamstring injury. So Joe Judge keeping that Giants team together, and who knows what's going on in that NFC East. It'll be up in the air until that final week.
5 in the secondary, 3rd and 3. Herbert, 23 of 44. Outside it goes with a nice tackle made right there by Jawan Williams on Mike Williams. And it's a gain of 7 and a first down to the Patriot 45. Now Herbert is over 200 yards, 24 of 45. Intercepted twice. 1st and 10. Underneath with the tackle made by Hall. This is the backup tight end Parham. Close to a first down gain of about 9. They got to get to the 35. Big day for Cam Newton with a couple of rushing touchdowns.
Well, and a lot of young players in on defense for the Patriots. Anthony Jennings, the rookie linebacker. Terez Hall, who we've mentioned a couple times.
Here's Balaj on 2nd and 1. Riding him down with the tackle is Akeem Spence. Played well against Arizona last week. And again, elevated off that practice squad to the 30. First down. They sneak through. They hit Herbert. The pass incomplete. Now the pressure there by Byron Cowart. Now what do you tell a young quarterback after this against a defense which has all the respect of every team they play, but not like the games preceding this? He has been truly fantastic. Herbert, the rookie out of Oregon, the Rose Bowl MVP.
Well, the amazing thing is this deep into the season, this is the first game that he's had multiple interceptions in a game. Prior to today, he's protected the football very well. 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. This is just a learning experience and something you try and grow from.
2nd and 10, heaves one up. Williams was there watching Williams. There goes a late flag as the defensive back Jawan Williams was watching the receiver Mike Williams. It'll be against New England. Now you take it from the defensive side. There's a lot of pride on that side of the ball about a shutout. You don't come across
There's
him
no
very
foul
often.
for pass interference on the play. Third down.
Third down. So there was no interference. The flag was late. And doesn't matter.
Well, it looked like there was some contact there. You think that Williams could have jumped up and made an effort.
So you got to go back to 73 to find the last time the Chargers, then in San Diego, were shut out like this. So this would be the worst in history of this franchise. 3rd and 10, if it holds. Patriots have been phenomenal. Special teams, touchdowns, interceptions. Herbert here on 3rd and 10, low, and Phillips is there signaling that it was not caught by Steven Anderson.
That's really all you can do, Kevin, is just try and watch the tape, learn from it, grow from it. As a rookie quarterback, you're going to have days where everything isn't going your way, and it started off that way from the very beginning. Struggles for the Chargers offense trying to get anything going. Constantly under pressure early in the game. And then, of course, to play the special teams, you're trying to fight from behind the entire game.
4th and 10. Herbert deep and incomplete. The coverage there by Bryant. Intended receiver was Keenan Allen. And on downs, it goes to New England. Well, we have known that this Charger team made a bid for Tom Brady. They finished runner-up to Tampa Bay. They didn't see Joe Burrow drafted at #1. Tagovailoa was drafted just ahead of Herbert, who's had a terrific season as you see what he's done. But today, this defense of New England has dialed up a terrific performance.
Well, and what I've seen on tape prior to today, he was very efficient with his accuracy. You see 67% completion, and he was able to hit some big chunks prior to today. 7 completions over 50 yards, which leads the NFL. Just none of that was clear today or open for him, and he was not able to be as accurate as what he's been and to give the pressure to the Patriots, give them credit for that.
Sony Michel with the gain of 3 next Sunday. NFL on CBS features Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs dealing with the Dolphins, as well as Deshaun Watson's Texans taking on the Chicago Bears. We get you ready for the day with JB and the guys at noon Eastern on the NFL today. That's next Sunday. The NFL is on CBS, as is the Super Bowl. 2nd, 7, Sony Michel. He is hit by Linville Joseph. That is a gain of 4 to the 37. So the Patriots will stay here in Southern California, and they'll play the Rams. Now, there has been some talk about COVID and restrictions and protocol and shutting down, and so this game probably still is being discussed as we speak. Then at Miami, so some pretty formidable foes coming up for the Patriots, who intend to stay out here until they hear otherwise. 3rd and 3, Michel. No gain on the play.
Well, and Kevin, and you mentioned the fact they've got the Rams and the Dolphins, two teams that are fighting for the playoffs themselves, and then they return home for a Monday night game against Buffalo. So they've got a tough road ahead of them, but as we've showed numerous times with the playoff race, they needed this win today to keep pace with the others that won earlier in the day.
Jake Bailey is going to punt this ball. Cardona will be the long snapper, and deep back will be KJ Hill. Another beauty. Hill, fair caught inside the 10. That's where he has been planting the most of the day. 53-yarder right there for the terrific Jake Bailey. Well, tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and a report about COVID's effects on college sports. Then Dolly Parton shares songs and stories of the season in a Holly Dolly Christmas, followed by 2 new episodes of NCIS Los Angeles. That's tonight on CBS. Herbert is still in. Cam Newton has left this game 12 of 19, 69 yards. He had a touchdown pass to N'Keal Harry and 2 touchdown runs himself. While play, Kalen Balon. Slipping through the grasp of Hall and then down by Phillips. Gain of 6 to the 15. The 2-minute warning upon us in Los Angeles on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Old Navy and by Visa. Shop local, because where you shop matters.
Beautiful Los Angeles. 2-minute warning. 2nd down and 4. And out of the reach of Parham. And there was Hall. Here's a look at Keenan Allen. You always stop the best players. That's the philosophy of Belichick. 5 catches, 48 yards for him. Eckler is another big playmaker. He carried 8 for 36. He caught 4 for 32. So in essence, what Bill had dialed up to stop the 2 biggest playmakers on this offense has paid off, Trent.
Well, it has, and we talked about that matchup as really our marquee matchup of the day to watch. And there's Stephon Gilmore, who anytime they went to man-to-man coverage, it was Keenan Allen that he was covering, and we just showed the numbers. Not much of a day for Allen or the rest of the Chargers.
Balaj stopped in his tracks by Jawan Williams. High draft pick out of Vanderbilt, 2nd year, no gain on the play. The Patriots are going to win their 4th game in their last 5. They're going to go to 6-6, 2-4 on the road. 3rd place in the East. 4th and 4. And almost picked off by Duggar. Because there was a nice hit there by Terez Hall. Boy, he is really making his mark on special teams, on these chances on defense. Breaking that up. On downs, it goes to New England. A forgettable day for the Chargers, who will drop to 3-9, 2-4 at home. They've lost 5 of their last 6. Helping with the dab, there is Cam Newton with the terrific punter Bailey, who, by the way, punted 4 times today, 3 times inside the 20, including a 65-yarder, and he averaged 49 yards a punt. He had himself a day indoors. Although we are only covered, we're not technically inside. The edges are open, so a breeze can be felt from time to time on a windy day.
Well, and you mentioned the day that Bailey had, but in general, that phase of the game was completely dominant. Not only the punter and kicker, but the coverage teams, the return teams, completely dominated. As we take a look at updated New England's record to 6-6.
Baltimore will play Dallas coming up. Patriots will watch that game with great interest, and you can see what they got ahead of them. A game with Miami is a couple weeks away. But a good win for New England.
Well, and they don't have the long trip. As you said, they're sticking around here. They play on Thursday, or they're supposed to play on Thursday, back at this stadium again, SoFi Stadium, to play the Rams.
Stidham to a knee, 3rd down. Big special teams plays by Olszewski. Couple of interceptions. Newton with 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, and a short touchdown pass to Harry. And they did it all. There was a blocked field goal try. Devin McCourty picked it up, raced 44 yards. They had a 70-yard punt return by Olszewski. Hunter Henry is a guy that Bill Belichick really likes. He said he followed Henry from the time he was a high school kid in Arkansas. And he liked Herbert too. But he had to really like the performance of his team, as Belichick with kind words for the rookie quarterback, who will see better days. Well, Trent, what do you think of this one as we close it up in a shutout for the defense of New England?
Well, I think it was obviously a great game for New England. This is exactly what they needed as they started a 3-game road trip. 2 games out here on the West Coast and then at Miami. So